guys, it's Melissa. In this video, I am going to show you how to cut corrugated plastic or coroplast. So this is super popular for those things like big heads, yard signs, photo props, everything that if you need something stable like this to be able to cut it. So I use my laser, my xTool P2 laser, and I'm going to just give you a couple of tips and then I will show you start to finish how to do this. So first of all, this is the sheets of corrugated plastic that I use. You want to use something specific because otherwise there are some that are a little like, you just don't want to release the toxic fumes while you're cutting. So I'm going to link to what I use down here. Now, this is too big to fit into the bed. So I take an X-Acto knife first and I trim off, I don't know however much this is, maybe 6 inches. And so then I have a piece that can fit in here, okay? And then obviously it's time to cut. Now, what we are going to do is start to finish. I'm going to show you the exact cut settings. I'm going to show you a little tip if your pieces don't pop out. You don't want these. You don't want to, it shouldn't have to be like that, okay? It is going to take a little bit to pop it out, but I'm gonna show you how you can get those nice clean cuts. And then if you're interested at the end, I will show you the next step, which is going to be to laser print on these. So let's go. Okay, so these are my SVG files that I have brought into xTool Creative Space. I was trying to get around this little bend here, but as you can see, it didn't exactly fit. So that's why they're laid out this way. Now, up here is a test cut that I did, which is how I found the exact settings. Okay, so just FYI on that. Now, once everything is in here, and obviously you bring it in by going to File, Import Image. If you have a fully colored image, which I actually have a version of that, xTool Creative Space does not like files that are filled with color. So I always do a fill colored for when I'm going to UV print, which is going to be the second part of this project. And then I also do just like a cut outline as an SVG, and that's obviously what this is. So these are imported in here, and then I selected all of them, change them to cut, and then adjusted the power. Okay, now I did save this as a custom cut setting, so I'll just show you how that's done. Here you can go, once you have your setting, you can go up here and check this little click this little icon here for saving, and then just rename it, okay? And it will, and click save. And then once you do that, it's going to be listed here. You can see my corrugated plastic is right there, okay? And click process, and then obviously you need to go over to your machine and the cutting will begin. This took about 3.5 minutes to cut all 3 of these pieces. Obviously, I did speed this up. Now, when the cutting is done is when you are obviously able to pop out your designs. Now, what I found is just because of the grain of the corrugated plastic, there are times when you're able to just pop it out, but especially on the duck head where there's more intricate pieces, I wasn't able to and I didn't want to like bend the plastic. Okay, so what I did, as you can see here in a second, is I grabbed my X-Acto or my utility knife and I just placed it in a straightaway. Okay, and then that kind of at least started it. And once I did that, I was able to pop the rest out. I did not go around the entire design with the X-Acto or the utility knife. You don't need to do that, but it did just seem to help that once I was able to start it, the whole thing popped out. So I did that on all 3 of these designs, and now these corrugated plastic shapes, which I am going to use for photo props, are all ready to go. So at this point, I am now going to UV print on them. I think before I said laser print, sorry, I'm using my UV printer. But what I will tell you is do not throw this extra piece out. You're gonna actually kind of use it as a jig and as a way to protect your UV printer bed if you are going to go that option. If you are just using this as a yard sign and you're gonna put vinyl on it, you are done. But there are a lot of ways to use corrugated plastic. Now you can probably see over my shoulder here that I have a laser UV printer. So that is what I am using now to go from this to this. And I'm gonna show you again the exact steps to do that so that you get a perfect print even when these are completely different systems. So this is my xTool P2, that is a Eufy Make E1. So the point here is that you do not have to be in the same system, although that does take 1 or 2 quick steps out of it. But if you are ready for the next video, if you are looking for xTool P2, P2S or P3 bundles, if you are looking for UV printers, everything like that is in the description below. Also, as I mentioned, or maybe I didn't mention in this video, I can't remember, but if you need one-on-one same-day support and help troubleshooting for anything that you see in my office, whether that's a laser, a sublimation printer, a UV printer, a Silhouette, I offer all of that through Silhouette U, and you can get a discount code all in the description below. All right, guys, see you soon.